Hello, and welcome to the pool room. David Bradley here. I'm just gonna pull up a chair or a piece of the couch here. Oh, 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 yes. As I said, it's been a while. Oh, what's that? Recycling. It's been a while since I've been able to sit here. It has been. All right. All right. From the Book of Run. Don't fall down, things. Indeed. Let's look here. I thought let's just go to Telecomputing Workshop, page 120. Very near the back. I think that's where it was. 119. No, that's not it at all. Let's look again. 92. 92. So this is a Run magazine. And indeed. Oh. How is it? Oh, there we are. Run magazine from October of 1986. And I used to write for Run magazine. I used to answer questions in the telecomputing workshop. People would send me questions. I would answer them. I would send them to Run. They would edit them. Sometimes they edit them okay. Sometimes you're like, yeah, well, that isn't really what I said. But anyway, that's the typical editors' things. If editors can't change things, they think they're not doing anything. All right, so what questions did we have? I'd like to know what modems, if any, are compatible with my Commodore Plus 4. I'd also like to know if I can connect a CompuServe to CompuServe and Quantum Link with a Plus 4. If so, would I have to buy any special software or hardware? Oh dear, this is painful. I have a Plus 4, but I've never used it as a terminal before receiving your letter. According to the Plus 4 manual, the computer will work with a 1660 modem. However, I wanted to try it with a 1670. The 1670 manual says on page 69 in the section on troubleshooting that the third dip switch on the modem must be set up for the Plus 4 to achieve successful data transmission. I flipped the dip switch and connected to the modem of the computer. Then I had to find a terminal program. I thought HiggyTerm, the terminal program package for the 1660 modem, might do the trick. Written by Paul Higginbottom and updated by David Berezowski, HiggyTerm comes in versions for both the 64 and Plus 4 and operates at various baud rates, including 1200. I tested it with the 1670 Plus 4 combination on Delphi and various BBSs in and around Toronto and had no trouble at all. If you purchase a 1660, HiggyTerm will come with it, but if you opt for the 1670, you'll have to dig up the program yourself. It's available from the Toronto Pet Users Group on a disc called CC4, TPUG Commodore 64 Telecommunications Disc number 4. Write to TPUG's General Manager. This is the only terminal program I found for the Plus 4 to date, but I'll continue to look for others. Oh, and that came from Ron Dunbar Jr. in Templeton, Pennsylvania. Yes, the Plus 4, a great machine that had a great potential to go at tremendous speeds, but it was sadly not very well supported. As I keep saying over and over, if they just had put paperclip into the Plus 4, it would have done much better. Just paperclip. That's all. Anyway, I've had my C64 system for about 2.5 years, and now I want to add a modem. I've learned a lot about modems, but I'm not sure which brand to purchase. Could you please recommend a modem and terminal program? Terry Kramer, Bridgewater, New Jersey. There are many factors. Oh boy, this is a long answer. There are many factors to consider in shopping for a modem and terminal program. I won't recommend any particular products because everybody's needs are different, and what I suggested might disappoint you. However, I will try and point you in the right direction and leave you with fewer questions than you had at the beginning. Before you buy your first modem, think about what you're going to do with it. Try to anticipate which systems you'll be calling and find out what baud rates, 300, 1200, or whatever they use, and what transfer protocols, such as Punter, Xmodem, or Kermit, they support. Then, find a terminal program that will support those baud rates and protocols, and buy a modem appropriate to the program. Buying the program first and then the modem may seem backwards, but I've talked to many people who picked up a modem without finding out what programs were available for it, and then discovered they couldn't do everything they wanted. They often ended up selling their first modem at a loss, and getting another one. There's an exception to this approach. If you contemplate moving to another computer. If that's a possibility, get a modem that will work with various machines, even though the price may still be a bit higher. Then choose a terminal program from those that are compatible with it. By the way, don't limit your terminal program search to commercial software. There are a lot of excellent public domain and freeware terminal programs out there. One of the most reliable sources of help when you want to get into the telecommunication is a person who's already involved. Check out your local users group. You'll probably find someone who can help you there. Oh, and that was, Terry Kramer, Bridgewater. I have a C128, but I have been unable to find any terminal software specifically for 128 mode. Any help would be appreciated. I flipped the page, and I flipped 2. So far, I've only seen one terminal program for the 128 and 128 80-column mode. It's called Multi-Term 128 2.7, and it does a lot of things, supports a lot of modems, and generally looks good. It is a freeware program written by Steve Thompson. He's from Bothwell, Washington. Write to Steve, and I imagine he'll tell you how to get it. There may be other terminal programs for the 128 that I haven't seen. However, it'll probably be a while before there are many of them. Watch this column. If any other good ones come to my attention, I will mention them. Oh, this is a long one. Okay. Can you tell me about PunterNet and how I can get on it as a user and then become a sysop? Phelps, Nightingale, Utah. PunterNet is a network of local Commodore bulletin board system, BBSs. Each BBS is a self-contained entity with all the standard puntered BBS features, like a message section, a bulletin section, and an upload and download section using the punter protocol, and in most cases 300 and 1200 baud. Through a BBS, you can also communicate with other users of other BBS associated with the PunterNet. Each BBS is known as a node and assigned a node number when it joins the network. Generally, anyone who wants to send messages over the network forwards a little money, usually less than $10, to cover the long-distance charges. Then the actual charges are deducted until the money is gone. I don't remember that. Oh well. You can get involved in the PunterNet by loading your favorite terminal program and calling one of the many nodes all over North America. At the time of this writing, there are 43 registered nodes. We haven't room to list them all, but you could start with Steve Punter's own node, number 1, in Ontario, Canada. Its number is, you can get the phone number of other nodes from there. If you want to run a node You'll have to be prepared to make a substantial commitment of time as well as money. It takes quite a while to get the system running, to get comfortable with the BBS program, and you'll probably need to purchase additional hardware along with the BBS program. If you do decide to establish a PunterNet node, write to Steve Punter for the BBS program. He charges $100 US funds for it and supplies updates for a nominal fee every time he improves the system. Steve's address is And that seems to be the end of that issue, October 1986, Run Magazine. I didn't even realize there were 43 nodes at the time. At one point recently, well, relatively recently, I did find a binder, and it said something about PunterNet, and it was actually a program that was written to go on an IBM. Can you imagine? Yeah. Anyway, we started, my brother and I, on bulletin boards using the PET, where you had used an 8010 modem, you had to build or find an answer circuit. I think Ritz-Rail Telecommunications eventually started making an answer circuit. And it was, of course, 300 baud. That's all it was. And that was on the PET. And then came the 64, which made it much easier because you could get a 1670 modem, go with 300 or 1200, and away you went. But I do remember, I think it was pretty much on the PET thing. There was a lot of things that we made changes to. For one thing, just on the input thing, if you inputted, you could crash the board by inputting things because there was no safety on what you put in. I think it was mostly big numbers or other things, and I don't remember all the specifics. But indeed, we made some modifications. We did. And it's funny, one of the things was if you were on there on one of the boards and somebody came along, a sysop, and they wanted to talk directly to you because they happened to be there and saw what you were doing or had a comment or whatever, this thing would come up and say direct sysop communication, which scared most people tremendously. So we eventually, on the one we ran, changed it to chat mode, which sounds much more friendly. Much more friendly. Anyway, there are many things, and also, and sometime I'm going to get to this, there were ROMs that we made or had made or worked with. There was a fellow named David Williams. He came up with a thing that would restart the board, restart the computer if there's a power failure, and do all kinds of magical things. And when the board wasn't running, or when no one was on the board, it would check for what we called cosmic rays, where there was some error in the force, and something would change, and that could cause the thing to crash. So before it crashed, it would do an automatic restart, but it would restart and start up again. It was a beautiful thing. And somewhere in one of the machines, I have talked about this before, I have the ROM or the ROMs, and I haven't got to them. I need to get to them. That's one of the reasons I'm cleaning up in here, is so that I can get to more things and do more things and catch up on things. It is. Anyway, things are coming along here. I can now walk all the way around the pool table, although I do believe soon I'm going to have to get down on my hands and knees and crawl underneath the table and look and see. There's not a whole bunch there, but I see some newspaper things and other things, and I'm sure I can do better. And yes, you know what? I would, at some point, before I put things back on here, I might like to play a game of pool. I might. So, yeah. Anyway, it's coming along. I do have to move some things upstairs. Right now, where you're seeing me from, on the pool table sits a Commodore 128D on top of a 1080 monitor. Yes, one of the ones that says Amiga, but it's badly yellowed, So I'm thinking, once the weather gets nice, I'll maybe take the case off and put it outside. Badly yellowed. Have to see what else needs to come out. Don't want to ruin anything with it, but certainly you don't want to leave the whole monitor out in the sun. But the sun will get rid of the yellowing. It will. Anyway, there's other stuff on the pool table. This whole train thing. Um, well, I don't think I can get it back into the box. Here's the box. I don't think I can. So, as terrible as it sounds, I might put it in a green Dollarama fabric bag and then ponder. Like, it might be something. Like, I'm also working in the dining room to make it like the Christmas room where we can eat, because we haven't done that for a while. And it might be good to have there. It's kind of a Christmassy. I think it's called the Christmas Express. But then again, it might be something that it's just time to pass on. So anyway, also up on the table right now, there's some Amiga things and a monitor and lights. And right now there's a big, long blue cable that, you know what, also I should put that in a fabric. I find those shopping bags, those fabric bags, pretty handy to put things in that they don't. Okay, it's a mess, it's tangled. And you know what, eventually I might just send it away to my brother, because I really don't know that I'm going to need it at all. And there are actually two of them. There are, and they may not be necessary. But I know up in the north, he does things, networky things, and other such things. And they may come in handy. Yay! Oh, no. Dave is not allowed to fall over. Oh, no. By the way, this likeness of me was done uh, by an artist of a Persian descent. And I worked with his brother. Brother was a fabulous fellow. And he asked for my school picture one year. I said, oh, yeah, sure. And then the next year he showed up, and there I was. And indeed, I used to wear a hat. So that's the artistic impression. Like, there was more stuff on the hat, but he didn't do that. Just, anyway. And, also the eyes. I suppose I should get that framed. Anyway, there's other things on the table. I would like to get them off. Actually, I suspect what's really going to happen, because that's the way it goes. I will get some things off, and then more things will go on. And then I might tinker on some things. And then eventually I'll get everything off the table. And I'll at least play one game of pool. And then we'll start again. At the side of the room, there's all kinds of stuff. And yeah. It would be it'd be nice to get kind of two sides of the table set up that I could test things. Mind you, pool tables, they're not that wide. They're really not. It's like, I think this is a 4x8, and that means, yeah. Anyway, I'll see how it goes. I will see. But at the moment, I think I will do the impossible, or not impossible, but the improbable. I will try and get up from this very low vintage couch. So first we begin the slide maneuver. Set this other phone up here. Oh dear, what's Dave on? Maybe I'll just pick Dave up. Make sure nothing's gonna fall. And then I will rise and say, thanks for coming. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.